The gospel lesson for this morning is pretty incredible. You know, it's about the raising of Lazarus from the dead. But it's not until I step back and reflect a little bit and pray and wonder that I really discover what the story is all about. Yes, it's about Lazarus, and it's about his buddy Jesus. And Jesus gets there and immediately is criticized for being late. Has that ever happened to you? You want to be somewhere, and you get there and somebody says, "Where were you?" You're late. Well, Jesus lost a friend. He was late. They claimed he hadn't done enough. Have you ever been too late? Have you ever not done enough? Have you ever just wanted to cry and weep and not have someone tell you that you should have done more? I mean, Jesus lost a friend. And my guess is that when he got there, he kind of wished for a few moments he wasn't the Son of God, that he wasn't the Messiah, that he wasn't the miracle worker who fixed things. He just wanted to be there with his buddy and his family. He kind of said, "I'm tired of being a miracle worker. I lost my friend." Do you ever get tired? You just want to be human? You want to be able to be a little fragile? I think of all those names on the list in the bulletin this morning. I think of all of you, all the people you love, all those you miss. Do you ever feel like in the middle of all that you have not done enough? And so Jesus goes to the tomb, the place where Lazarus lies, and he says, "Lazarus, come out. Get out of there. Lazarus, my friend, just come out." And I realize now why this story has lasted so long. Lazarus is Lazarus, Jesus is Jesus, but Lazarus is you, and Lazarus is me. How often are you tempted, especially when things aren't going the way people think they should go? You just want to crawl inside the tomb. Walk the other way because you're afraid. Walk the other way because all you want to do is be accepted for who you are. Afraid you're not going to be good enough. Afraid your vote's not going to count. And so what do? We crawl inside the tomb. We just want to get away from it all. And then Lazarus comes out and he's all bound up. And what does Jesus say? Unbind him. Let the man go. You're free. Free to be yourself. Free to live another day. Come on, Don and Bob and Fred and Gertrude and Ed, whoever you are. Just come out. Unbind yourself. Allow yourself to be set free. Don't be imprisoned by the mistakes you've made and some of the wrong turns and the guilt and the jealousy and your disabilities. Just come out. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Let go. Life is too important to let yourself get bound up by all that stuff. And you know, we're all saints, and that's why we're called All Saints Lutheran Church, because every one of us matters. We all have our tombs, we're all late, we all fail once in a while, and we all need to hear that invitation to come out and be set free so that we can be free to live and make a difference. You can't make a difference to somebody else if you can't love yourself. I love to tell the story of unseen things above, of Jesus and his glory, of Jesus and his love. So this couple in church, they're counting the offering last Sunday. They go into the back conference room, and both services are over, and they count the money. Tom is a pretty quiet guy. But on Sunday, about 12:30 in the afternoon, he's a little extra quiet. And his wife looks at him and says, "Tom, isn't it about time that you talk about it?" And I look at Tom, and the tears well up in his eyes. And Tom doesn't like to cry in public. He likes to run. He likes to go into the forest preserve and jog. I do too. Love it. Because you go into Palos Park in the forest preserve, you feel like you're out west. You go on those horse trails and nobody can find you. You're by yourself. You're out there, it's just you and creation. You don't have to go to work. Just for a few moments, you're free. And he never runs on Friday. But somehow his work schedule got changed, and so he decides on Friday, September 14th, that he's going to go out and run on the path. He makes one of, there's all kinds of ways you can turn. Sometimes you turn, you forget where you are. So Tom turns left, and right in front of him is a man lying face down in the path. He's not moving. And Tom just kind of quietly panics, and he thinks he's gone, and Tom never runs with a cell phone. Either do I. I will now. But it's kind of nice to be cell phone free, at least for an hour, for a few miles. But luckily, the man's cell phone is next to him, and it's not locked. So Tom dials 911, tries to explain to the Palos Fire Department where he is, because you're in the middle of the forest. Well, they got there 20 minutes later, and for 20 minutes, all Tom did was practice CPR for the very first time. Compress, 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 compress. 20 minutes, compress, compress, compress. And finally, the ambulance and the fire truck arrive, and they find them. They get this gentleman into the ambulance, and they drive off, and Tom's sitting there going, what do I do now? He didn't know if he was alive or dead. Later that day, luckily, Tom has a buddy who's a doctor at Palos. And so he calls Dr. Sulo. He says, Doc, I just had this experience, and I just need to know if this guy made it. Well, a little bit later, Dr. Sulo calls back, and he says, Tom, he made it. And he's going to need some rehab, and he'll probably have to go downtown to the rehab center, but he's going to make it. And he said, Tom, you saved his life. You saved his life. Well, see, last week, it was the Friday before last Sunday, the wife of the guy found out where Tom lived and who he was. And so just a couple days ago, she called Tom. And she told him that her husband is now in rehab. And she kind of goes, what do I say to a guy who saved my husband's life? He's only 44 years old. We got 3 little kids. We have a whole future ahead of us. And Tom needed to talk about it because he didn't know how to explain what happened. Random moments in life, huh? Left turns and right turns and a day off. Tombs and forest preserves, a life's man is saved, and 3 young kids next door die in a school bus accident. You live your whole life with ALS. A child is born, lives only a few months. There's a lady who goes to church at the place where I do an assisted living, and she's 102 years old. How do you explain the gap between those two? Random? God's plan? I don't know. Maybe someday we'll know. But I do know this now. I and you, all of us, we can't take any moment, any act of goodness, any person, any journey for granted. Because somehow in all this mix of random moments, that's where God lives. That's where God's Spirit comes to us. Maybe not controlling our life, but holding us in the palm of His incredible hands. I guess it's lucky Tom is not here today. He's out of town. But we're here. Wherever we are, whoever we are, all I know is I don't want to be bound up anymore. I want to come out and live every moment to the best of our ability. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed. It's on page 105.